Hello, and welcome back to the Entrefluential Life Podcast, Unplugged Edition, where we help entrepreneurs and influencers build a thriving business and a life of freedom. I'm your host, John Tanner. In today's episode, we're talking about high performance habits, daily practices that separate the ultra successful from the rest. If you want to increase productivity, boost energy, and stay consistently motivated, then this episode is for you. We'll break down actionable insights inspired by top performers like Brendon Burchard, Tony Robbins, Amy Porterfield, and Pat Flynn, and more. You'll walk away with a blueprint for success that you can start implementing today. So grab a notebook, get ready to take some notes, and let's dive into the high performance habits that will change your business and your life. Let's start with the basics. What exactly are high performance habits? According to Brendon Burchard, they're deliberate actions that drive long-term success and well-being. These habits aren't just about working harder. They're about working smarter, maintaining energy, and staying consistently focused. And one of the biggest myths about success is that it's just about talent or luck. It's really about the habits that you cultivate every single day. Tony Robbins says, success leaves clues. If you study successful entrepreneurs, you'll see common patterns in how they think, plan, and execute. So, what separates high performers from everyone else? Research shows that they have clarity on their goals, maintain consistent energy and motivation, operate with a sense of necessity and purpose, use effective time management strategies, focus on building influence and leadership, and take courageous action even when it's uncomfortable. And trust me, I know about that one. And today we're going to break these down into practical, step-by-step strategies that you can implement immediately. Let's kick things off with the first habit, clarity. High achievers are crystal clear about what they want. They don't wake up wondering what to do. They already know. Brendon Burchard talks about envisioning the future every morning. Successful entrepreneurs ask themselves, who do I need to be today? What's the one thing I need to accomplish? What's my long-term vision? A great way to build clarity is through journaling. Tony Robbins also emphasizes the power of priming your mind daily. If you don't have a vision board or a morning intention setting practice, now is the time to start. You don't need to overcomplicate it. Every morning, take 5 minutes to write down your top 3 goals for the day, your biggest long-term goal, and one thing that you're grateful for. I love it. That's gold. Let's move on to habit number 2. The second high performance habit is energy. Successful entrepreneurs treat their bodies like high performance machines because they are. Amy Porterfield, who runs a multi-million dollar business, emphasizes managing energy over time. That means prioritizing quality sleep, exercise, nutrition, and mental breaks. And let's talk about morning routines because high achievers always have one. I do. Tony Robbins starts his day with cold plunges and deep breathing. Others use meditation, exercise, or journaling. I do all 3 of those every day, every morning. What's important to find what works for you? Try this. Hydrate first in the morning. Drink at least 16 ounces of water. Boy, that sounds good right now because I'm drinking coffee and I'm feeling a little bit dehydrated. Move your body. Even 10 minutes of stretching, yoga, or a brisk walk gets your blood flowing. Amen to that. Number 3, set your intention. Use affirmations or visualization. I do both. If you're feeling a little bit sluggish, ask yourself, why am I fueling my body? What am I fueling my body and my mind with? Because you might be eating junk food and that's going to slow you down. Small changes in your nutrition, better sleep, and fitness activities will transform your energy levels. And more energy means more productivity and more success. Speaking of which, let's dive into habit number 3, necessity. All right, let's talk about the one high performance habit that often gets overlooked. This is the drive that pushes successful entrepreneurs to take action even when it's uncomfortable or it's inconvenient. It's about doing what needs to be done, no excuses, period. Think about it. When you have a clear why, you don't let distractions or procrastination stop you. Brendon Burchard calls this raising necessity, meaning that you must make success a must, not just a preference. Here's a real world example. Look at elite athletes. They don't just practice when they feel like it, they train because they're made a necessity of winning. Entrepreneurs with this same type of mindset push through challenges because they've attached a deeper meaning to their work. They ask themselves, who needs me to show up today? What impact am I making in my business? That kind of necessity fuels action. Here's a practical tip. Set external commitments. If you tell a client that you're going to deliver by Friday, or you publicly announce a launch date for a new course, well, then you better get to it because you've just created some external pressure that makes the follow through a must. Otherwise, you're going to embarrass yourself. And we don't want that, do we? Success just isn't about motivation, it's about creating a system where not taking action is not an option. It's like the old saying, burn the ships. Okay, now that we've covered that, and you know that that's powerful advice because when you operate with necessity, productivity naturally follows. You don't have a choice. That's what's that's that's what's behind raising necessity. It's to not give yourself an option to not do it. Now let's dive into productivity, another non-negotiable for high performers. High achieving entrepreneurs don't just work hard, they work smarter. They focus on their highest value tasks and eliminate distractions ruthlessly. Tony Robbins says, where focus goes, energy flows. And that's the secret here. Instead of just being busy, ask yourself, what's the one thing I can do today that will make everything else easier or unnecessary? That's the core of the 80-20 rule, where 20% of your efforts create 80% of your results. Put another way, Tom Hopkins calls it the Golden 12. I must do the most productive thing possible at every given moment. And here's the key. They schedule their priorities. Productivity isn't about cramming more into your day. It's about protecting your time for what truly moves the needle forward. One quick strategy, time blocking. Set 90-minute work sprints for deep, focused work, followed by a 10-minute recharge. That right there is a game changer. One productivity tip I swear by is batching tasks. In other words, it's grouping similar activities together, batching, so that I'm not constantly switching gears, which totally derails me. For example, I block time for content creation instead of spreading it out throughout the week because it keeps my momentum strong when I'm in the content creation mode. Pat Flynn swears by batching tasks and time blocking. Successful entrepreneurs don't jump from task to task. They focus deeply for blocks of time eliminating distractions. And I don't know if you know this or not, but Ernest Hemingway would go and rent a hotel room and lock himself inside the hotel room for days until he would write his book, his next release. That's how he did it. He didn't do it over a long period of time. He just went away and busted it out. And that's the thing that might work for you as well. I know it does for me. All right, so here are a couple of different methods that you should try. A few methods you can try. Number one, the 90-minute focus rule. Work in 90-minute deep focus blocks, then take a 10 to 15-minute break. Prioritize the 80-20 rule. Focus on the 20% of activities that are going to bring you the 80% results. And number three, use productivity tools. You can leverage apps like Trello, Notion, or Asana to get things done and have that visual representation of exactly what you're working on. The key here is consistency. Small daily efforts compound over time. And for those of you listening, ask yourself, what's one habit I can build today that will increase my productivity? Implement it and watch your results take off. And let me know how it works out. All right, let's move on to the final two habits, influence and courage. High performers don't just focus on personal success. They focus on impacting others. Influence is not about manipulation. It's about building trust and providing value. And finally, courage. Every successful entrepreneur has faced fear. But you know what fear really means? False evidence appearing real. They don't let fear stop them. They use it as fuel. Think about it as you're going to do some myth busting with that false evidence. And ask yourself, what's one courageous step I can take today? All right, let's recap. Clarity, energy, necessity, productivity, influence, and courage. These are the Brendon Burchard's 6 high performance habits that can help you create unstoppable success. By applying these 6 habits in your life, you'll not only become a high performance entrepreneur, you'll create a successful personal life too. If you found this episode of value, make sure to subscribe, leave a review, and share it with your friend. We appreciate you, Entrefluencers. Keep building, keep scaling, keep amplifying your message, and we'll catch you in the next episode of the Entrefluential Life Podcast. For more tools and insights to build your high performance life and business, come back and visit our blog at entrefluencer.club and sign up for our upcoming quarterly newsletter and the Informed Entrefluencer magazine, which will be rolling out on July 1st. Bye for now. See you next time.